Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is February 10th, 2023. How the heck are ya? Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully this episode finds you in good spirits with lots of love and laughter. I guess it's slipping up on me, right? This is Valentine's Day weekend, right? I mean, I guess it's the 14th, every damn 14th, but I guess people are celebrating a little bit of pre. Um, so good for them, hey, awesome heart emojis. Hopefully you guys are, and gals are, and, everyone in between are just having a good old time. I don't know why. Jesus Christ. It's been three years. I don't know. It's been a while. I'm trying not to count anymore. But I've been single for a bit. That being said, love is nice. Love is good, and it's also not necessarily like I feel like you can make more out of your Valentine's Day. You can make it about just either with I know there's Galentine's Day. I wish the homies really did that shit. That'd be cool. I would like to do that. Maybe I should like make a movement. Galentine's Day. That sounds whack as fuck, but I might push it. But let's see. Between this episode and the last, man, I've been tired. Like I've been working a lot. I've been doing some overtime, and I don't know, the overtime mixed with a little bit of the podcasting, just kind of running it, and then like just stretching my days and my time, and then mixed with that little bit of insomnia I got, I've just not been rested. I woke up like on 3 hours and I was not stoked. And getting through the day was really rough. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna not do some overtime. How about that? Because I'm only working for me. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. And so I was glad I was able to come home, and I took a good ass nap. And I literally just felt like I found my brain. It was really good. It was really fulfilling. Um, so yeah, we're back on track. I'm doing a little bit of a Friday night, a late night episode. Well, I mean, late for my old ass. It's 10 o'clock. But I'm trying to think. Oh, food corner. Food corner. I got something for y'all. I got something. I mean, it's the usual. I went to Mellow Mushroom. I've been treating myself. I've been since I'm working so goddamn hard. I've been eating. Finally got my. Actually, I got Mellow Mushroom twice this week. I'm fucking it up. I'm being unruly. We got pretzels earlier this week, like just pretzels, and I got the spicy beer cheese. I think I might have talked about that. Maybe I didn't. Maybe that was last week. I don't know. This is all blurring together. But that was fine. That beer cheese, I'm not gonna get again. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I talked about that. Anyway, today I got a small pizza with pepperoni, and instead of regular sauce, I got pesto in that. And chef's kiss. It was so good. And then I also got, for the first time, I got their cheese bread. And this cheese, the last time I had cheese bread was from Manilio's. Shout out to Manilio's. Actually, we'll do a little bit of pre-news. They are shutting down their shop, so that's an L for the locals, But definitely a super cool, sweet, and pizzeria, and sad to see it go. But that cheese bread to this cheese bread, I mean, Mellow Mushroom just be putting that twang on it. It was so good. It was so good. And I got normal beer cheese this time, so we were just hitting. We were hitting on all cylinders. And I ordered this for my break. I was eating good. I was eating good in the neighborhood. I will say though, I was jealous. Some of the they're not management, but it's either like HR and management, like the upper crust of the warehouse that I work at. They got Texas Roadhouse. I saw them shuttling that in. That cater. I know they have them. And if you're not familiar with Texas Roadhouse, I gotta also remember sometimes that people listen to me outside of the states, which is wild. Thank you. You're awesome. But it is gosh, I mean, you probably don't even know what an Applebee's is, but it's like a sit down little restaurant, and It's akin to something like an Applebee's, a TGI Fridays. You're gonna Google that. But the thing that makes them stick out is they have this cinnamon butter and these rolls that are just so good, so goddamn good. And I know they were eating hella of them things. Now everything else I kind of don't care about. I'm a peanut head, so I do like going to places and they just have peanuts just out there. And Texas Roadhouse does that, so I like that part about them. But the menu is like whatever. Like they sell steak. They have like what they call chicken fritters or some kind of like fried chicken with some I don't know batter or something. I haven't had that, but I'm talking myself into wanting it. But you know, that's a class struggle issue. Maybe I don't know. All right, I'm talking shit. I'm riffing. I'm raffing. Let me get into some news. As usual for the Fridays, we talk about Ukraine, do a little bit of update there. Not necessarily, I don't have a news article for it. I didn't feel like finding one. But essentially, Zelensky this week has been hitting some European stops to thank nations. Like he started in the UK, and then he also went to France. I'm not sure if he went to any other places, but essentially he stopped at these places and said, "Hey, thank you for your support. You've done a lot for us. We really appreciate it." But he's also asking for fighter jets, which is a bigger ask. I think people on the surface are showing some support, but I haven't heard anyone say, "Okay, you're definitely getting these fighter jets." Like we're just like gonna tell you how many shortly. That hasn't come up yet. So that would be a bigger development. Tanks are one thing. I have heard a little bit more tanks. I'm not sure from where, but essentially a lot of tanks are still coming their way. But it's definitely looking like obviously they're going to keep needing more, military support. So that's the next thing they're kind of asking for. He's been lobbying for that. But something that popped up on my radar from Reuters, Moldovan government quits amid economic turmoil, Russia tensions. So let's see. Moldova's pro-Western government resigned on Friday after a turbulent 18 months in power marked by economic turmoil and the spillover effects of Russia's war in neighboring Ukraine. Prime Minister, President Maya Sandu accepted Prime Minister's Natila, sorry about that, Gravlita's resignation and nominated 48-year-old presidential aide and former Interior Minister Doran Rakian to replace her. He is expected to quickly win parliamentary approval. He said he would press on with Moldova's bid to join the European Union and revive the economy. Apparently, the economy has been, really hit. I mean, this is the inflation thing is, we've talked about it before. It is a worldwide issue. Like, not only are we going through it really hard, naturally, everyone is going through it very hard, across the board for different reasons. But in Moldova, it's a little bit more amplified because they rely heavily on Russian gas, Russian energy, and not having as much access to it, being penalized, in the whole situation with the sanctions, that hurt them a lot. So, also there was like a missile situation I think that took place. Let's see, tensions rose further on Friday when Chisinau said a Russian missile had violated Moldovan airspace before hitting Ukraine and summoned. Oh no, that's another issue. But I think there was a like a missile strike that had took place in this area. I might be wrong there. But yeah, so I mean that's a development that took place, I guess, today. Yeah. I know I'd be acting new, but I literally just like sometimes get into situations where I just like, okay, let's read this a couple times. All right, cool, let's go live. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on. I have an update on the Tyree Nichols Memphis officer situation from ABC News. Former Memphis officer texted photo of beaten Tyree Nichols, state records show. So the officer in question was Demetrius Haley. He took two pictures on his personal cell phone of the obviously injured Nichols after he had been handcuffed, according to a Tennessee Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission's document obtained by the ABC News. He admitted to sharing a photo in a text message with five people, a civilian employee. Let's see. Two Memphis police officers and a female acquaintance. Why the fuck would you send this shit to those people, by the way? That's so fucking weird. And it also goes to show that these dudes are literally fucking running around busting heads and not giving a fuck. I don't know. I was thinking about this shit because this information has kind of been trickling in and out. About this investigation, what they're uncovering. Actually, an additional seven people have been, I believe, fired. Now, I don't necessarily know about any more charges, but Jesus fucking Christ, it's just wild to me to think like it took me back. I don't know if you've seen this movie, but it's the movie called Untouchables, and it's the story of like Elliot Ness and Al Capone and the whole situation where these cops or whatever, this crack team that gets formed, and they're trying to bring down this head of the fucking Chicago mob or whatever the fuck, right? And obviously you're watching this, and the slant is that Al Capone, who is played by Robert De Niro, and then there's Kevin Costner, who's Elliot Ness, running the whole group division, I believe, right? If I'm getting my history right. So he goes through. They're busting speakeasies. They're finding all this pro banned illegal liquor or alcohol, whatever. They eventually go through all this fucking shit, and they get their man, and he gets in jail, and they do all this fucking crazy other shit. Yada yada yada. Da 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 da. Justice wins. But a lot of the details, and they even kind of like brush into it, where he's like, he's so stressed out, he's drinking, and da 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 da, and which you think, well, that's a little bit there's some hypocrisy there, right? That's weird, right? But you even kind of go to see it in the real life, not in the fucking movies. That doing all this shit, being in this hardcore division where you're trying to like fuck up like and stop crime and beat up all the villains and all this shit, it breaks you as a human being some way, one way or another. And like you could see in Elliot Ness's life that he was so tied to this whole thing, and then eventually, America just goes, oh fuck it, let's just fucking kill this prohibition shit. You're allowed to drink. All this shit was really for fucking nothing. Anyway, I'm saying all this to say that these special fucking squads that get formed time and time again, and the Scorpion unit that got disbanded, they're not new. Like, they go by other names in other places, but they always wind up going way too fucking hard and doing way too much in the neighborhoods that they're supposed to be policing and bringing down crime in. They just wind up busting heads and doing fucked up shit, and then they get broken up, and then we just move on as a society or whatever, and it's on to the next fucking police brutality incident. And it's crazy that when you look at the details, it gets so fucked up that people are literally just like, oh yeah, I can just take a picture of this guy, this dying man, and send it to my coworkers and I guess potential paramours. I don't fucking know, man. So the shit's icky. It's fucking gross. I am glad that they are, I guess, doing a thorough investigation at least. I mean, we'll see what comes of it. Obviously, we want to see charges for everyone. I'm sorry. That's what I want. Every time this shit happens, anyone who's got their hands fucking dirty on this shit, yeah, like, why not? Like, put them up for something. Anything. Because it's never going to be enough. It's not like it's going to bring Tyree back. You know what I mean? It's not going to undo the hurt. So yeah, I did want to, at least get a little bit of an update there. I know I keep it a little loose, but let's see. I got another update. More fucking balloons, dude. It's crazy. From USA Today, it was a success. White House says a second high altitude object shot down over Alaska. Now, no one is saying this one is from China. I don't know. Like, It's crazy that we had not one, but two balloons between here and South America. And one we brought down, and on this one we shot down before it even got to Alaska. Like this time we were ready, we're vigilant, we're here, but they're hopefully going to try to recover debris from this one and figure out what's going on, who is it from, what's up. I mean, but that's so brazen, right? Like literally we had in January, the end of January, like not even 2 weeks ago, one balloon, making its little, oh, to the country, don't you wanna go? Like it's just hanging out, and we almost had another. Like, damn, they trying us. They really trying us this week. We trying to go on dates. We trying to find love. They said, hold up, actually, what are your secrets? And let me not get carried away. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I know at least bringing it back to the China balloon situation, they're still holding on the narrative that, hey, this was a weather balloon. You guys blew it out of proportion. You're freaking out. It was nothing. It was nothing. But we're saying, no, fuck you. It was something. And, so that's still an ongoing issue. Tensions are still high. That being said, this is a new thing. So, I think, what is it? Officials or whatever. I don't want to. I know it's like Jack Kirby or John Kirby, whatever the fuck. He's like, hey, we don't want to sit there and we don't want to say that this is for sure China. Like, we can't say that. So we want to like figure that out before we say either way who this was. But yeah, they shot it down with like some kind of like Sidewinder missile or whatever. And yeah, that's a new one. And like I said, I'm assuming it's a balloon, but if they pull it up and recover it and it's not a balloon, I will, let y'all know. Let's see. From the AV Club. And honestly, I picked this article for the title. Disney announces Toy Story 5, Frozen 3, Zootopia 2, and 7,000 layoffs. I really think they kind of buried it there at the end, because for me, the only reason I even clicked on this shit was the 7,000 layoffs. So yeah, Bob Iger is back in a big way. He, I think it was a company year-end earnings call. And Bob Iger announced cutting 7,000 employees in hopes of finding $5 billion in savings. He also announced that the company would be dumping another round of necessary installments of Toy Story, Frozen, and Zootopia. And I hate that he, the person who made this article worded it that way. Those are all, super cool, fun, IPs. I think, though, from what the person is illuminating here in Toy Story, is that Toy Story really did have, like, a definite ending. Like, we did a goodbye. And, like, what are we doing going back to this? Like, that's weird. That's weird, right? But I mean, we've seen it in Star Wars. We'll see it again in any kind of Marvel experience. Like, you're going to keep reheating the fucking formula. There's no reason to change it. We want money. We want to keep grinding this thing. We're going to keep milking this thing for money. But I will say, I memed about it online, but I mean, Zootopia 2, I'm kind of stoked to hear about a Zootopia 2. I fucked with the first one. I thought the energy in that movie was really fun. The characters are fun. It was paced pretty well. It had a nice little cute twist. Like, I don't know. I enjoyed Zootopia, so Zootopia 2 sounds pretty nice. Another Frozen I don't care about. But yeah, the meat of the matter is 7,000 people are losing their job. That fucking sucks. In a situation where we're seeing in a lot of tech, a lot of job loss, that's still an ongoing thing, sadly. But they reference here, let's see, it wasn't a particularly great call for Disney, as the company also announced that Disney Plus lost more than 2.4 million subscribers, mainly from Disney Plus Hotstar, the company's Indian streamer. Apparently, like the United States, Disney Plus, Hotstar subscribers weren't too keen on Lightyear, which explains why Disney's returning to the toy box. So I didn't watch Lightyear. Seemed fine, but I did it. let me ask you guys, let me ask the audience. It kind of broke my brain a little bit that you have Buzz Lightyear, obviously the toy, in Toy Story. He has that old cannon or whatever. But then now we have Lightyear, where now it's like a completely different canon, and it's like, no, but what if that's real? Like, what if we're actually running the ad and that he's real and he's doing the whole adventure thing? He's like Buck Rogers or whatever. Obviously it's fine. Like I can just, turn that off. But it did bother me in a weird little way. It was like a tingle in my brain. But I just didn't really care about it. I don't go out and watch many movies these days. Since you guys know, you literally have reviewed I talked about like 2 movies last year. Sadly, I don't think that number is going up in 2023. There are definitely movies I do need to see. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for that one. I got one more thing to cover, so let me take my little break. All right. The last one I got from The Hill. Representative Angie Craig releases new statement on attack. I was very, very lucky. So, there was an attack on what was this? Thursday, sorry. On a Democratic representative of Minnesota, Angie Craig. I believe she was in her elevator at her apartment and someone assaulted her. And just trigger warning here, physical assault, sorry. But essentially and also I gotta state this doesn't seem to be politically motivated. So this isn't like a David DePappy situation or whatever, but this person assaulted her and tried to like punch her. I believe he like punched her in the chin, tried to just tussle with her, but essentially her, and I'm going to just read the quote. My morning coffee really saved the day yesterday, but not exactly how I expected it to. Also, love her personality. Just really just being, just really strong throughout this whole thing. I don't know. It's super scary and eerie to think that you can just be having a normal day, just going yada yada yada, and then someone does something to you. Someone tries you. Someone does this, and you're reminded how scary the fucking world can be. But obviously, this is good news because she came out of it, more or less all right. She is doing some recovering, but Oh, and let me talk about this person. DC police arrested and charged 26-year-old Kendrick Hamlin, also known as Khalil Hamlin, for the assault Thursday night. Let's see. The congresswoman said she is currently home in Minnesota recovering from the attack and expressed gratitude for the outpouring of support. So yeah, that's more or less it. That's all I got. Sorry, I ended on a little bit of a flat note, but definitely glad to hear that she's more or less okay and just recovering. As for me, I guess I got to shift to chill mode. Sorry about it. Patreon.com / Isaiah News. I got bonus news up there on the Patreon for my newsies. Also Discord access, quickest way to get a hold of me. Also, I'm trying to build community. I have dreams, I have goals, and that Discord is a part of it. Okay. Also, I have shout outs I do every month. And then with the shout out, you also can plug some news you might want me to cover or plug something that you are doing or whatever. I like to kind of use that as like a billboard kind of thing, maybe plug access, if you will. So yeah, it's like $5 a month. If you would ever like to subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. Definitely helps build the podcast, grow the podcast, things of that nature. Sometimes, hell, puts a little bit of food in my mouth. So yeah, that's all I got. Free ways, though, to hit me up, isaiahnews1@gmail.com. Questions, comments, concerns, all that shit. And I have a Facebook. I have a Twitter. YouTube, all that shit. You can find me. You can comment. I will maybe answer. Probably answer. It depends. Unless you're a meanie. If you're being a meanie, I don't know. Maybe I won't answer. maybe I won't talk to you. But thank you for commenting. Still, that's still dope of you, I guess. So yeah, hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love you. Bye bye. Mwah.